That's fine. You release the granny laugh.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Girl.
Yeah.
What are we going to talk about? Yeah, where to go? You know that always like cringe. I've been trying to make it all this week at like 5 in the morning. You know.
You live in Provo? Oh, right there.
It's 3 a.m. I just so fair.
When does the Provo Temple open? No?
I have never ran that fast.
Five? No.
Well, I'm not getting it. Oh my God.
What's the name, Jake?
So who have we got there? I see Michael and Artur. Who else is there? I'm not seeing very clearly.
Tabby's here.
Okay, 1 second. I'm gonna get you guys on here. So Tabby. Hey, who else?
Jacqueline?
Kylie? Jacqueline, Kylie?
Kylie?
Did you get Jacqueline?
Okay, Jacqueline and Kylie. 1 second. Yeah, I did Jacqueline. Where's Kylie? There you are. And who else am I missing?
Jason is here.
Jason? Okay. I see you now. Okay, so I've got Jason, Kylie, Tabitha, Jacqueline, Michael Mansour, Artur, and Zach. Zach's listening remotely, or watching remotely. Anyone else?
That's it.
No, that's it.
That's it? Okay. Well, we'll give it a little bit more time. We've got about 8 minutes, so let's go ahead and resume. I'll get everyone else when we get going.
That's good.
Is that the 100 view?
No, it's this is condition usually. Michael, it doesn't need to move that. It's my kiss my legs slowly. No, you can tell one. You can see them. You can't see them.
So Lindsay, I got your message. I'm not seeing you in the Hangout as a viewer, but I've got you. I'll mark you present.
Can't see her as a viewer. Here's the edge. I live right here. You know? I used to have a mohawk on this side. And a mohawk on this side. I'm just crazy.
All right, you guys ready?
Ready.
Okay, so so far of everyone I mentioned, the viewers that I've got are Lindsay and Zach, and I see Casey as well, Casey Pierce. Let me add Casey here. Did anyone else come to the classroom since we went over a second ago?
No.
Okay, I'll check who's watching again in just a few, just to make sure we get everyone. All right, well, thanks everyone for doing this. I appreciate you being willing to meet remotely like this twice in a row. This is unusual for me, but I was planning on this week doing something like this. I wasn't planning on being sick last week, so but it seems to be working out. Are you guys hearing me okay?
Yep. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, I see thumbs up. Excellent. So let's see, where do we want to start? So before I forget, before I forget, I've got a special event that I've gotten approval for. You're going to need to be available on a Thursday, and it's during Sister Putnam's class on Thursday, April 2nd. And she's aware of it, and her whole class is going to join us. So if you're in her class, you're going to come too, regardless. But I've gotten permission for anyone who is able to come and see the abolitionists with us. We're going to meet in the multi-purpose room on the main floor at 7 p.m. on April 2nd, which I think, is that next week? I think that's Thursday next week. Let's just verify. Yeah, so that's Thursday next week, so the day after our class next week. It's great, very powerful movie about human trafficking. It's something that I think all of you would really enjoy. You're welcome to come. It's not required for the class, but I did get permission for everyone to come that would like to come and see that. It's right now it's not in theaters yet, so this is a pretty unique opportunity. I might set up a Facebook event for you guys, a private one. I'm going to ask if you can, don't tell too many people around the university, because we're only going to have so much room for so many people to come to this. It's going to be mostly our class and Sister Putnam's class that will be there, and maybe some faculty along with that. So if I'll probably set up a Facebook group just to make sure that we have a decent count of who will be able to make it, and it gets on your calendar that way. Plan on that April 2nd, so that's next Thursday. I think it'll be pretty special. It's a powerful movie. There'll be few dry eyes after this. But again, it's not required. Just I think it will be worth it. Second, I want to make sure I've got the questions app turned on, so if you want to ask any questions or want to get my attention, feel free to ask questions. Right now, the viewers that I'm seeing that will get counted for attendance right now are I got Lindsay, Zach Williamson, and Casey Pierce. If there are any others that are watching that I'm not seeing, use the questions app to just state your name. And if anyone joins in the classroom, if you guys can just let me know, either interrupt me, or it might be easier just to post a question, and I'll stop when we can address that. Does that sound good?
Yeah, so we just had one walk in.
So they're all
Okay, who came in? I didn't catch that. Christiana?
They're all down in the box.
Oh, they're coming in now, little by little.
Oh, okay. All right, I will wait then.
Oh,
Yeah, they're downstairs on their computers.
Okay. So I might mention that that screening again here when they all get back up then. So once they're all up, can you guys just interrupt me and let me know if I'm not listening? Throw a question in the questions app, and I'll pay attention to that. So I mostly want to address a few things. Just want to make sure that we all know what's going on and how we want to do things. So we have two options on the presentations. We can do our presentations next week as planned, which was the original plan. I would also, but also next week is also a quiz. So we're gonna, if we do presentations next week, we're gonna have a quiz and presentations, which we should have plenty of time to do. We're looking at about 15 to 20 minute presentation for each group. But you're also gonna have a quiz, which will likely take up the first hour. So we can either do the presentations next week along with the quiz, or if you want, I would be okay giving you another week on the presentations, and we do those the last week of the semester. What do you guys want to do?
Our group would be more inclined to have another week.
Another week?
Yeah, we're not ready.
Same.
Okay. Okay. So let's plan on the final week of the semester. That would be week 13, I think. It might be week 14, whatever the final week is. Yeah, I think. Yeah, we skipped week 7, so yeah, 13 on the syllabus, and so week 13. So week 14 is when the day 14 is when the presentations will be due. We are in day 12 today, so you'll get next week. We will have a quiz next week, and then week following that is the final week, and it'll be due in 2 weeks from today, the presentations. Does that sound good?
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. So I've got Gabe and Matt Holmes. So I'm adding attendance as people check in here. Holmes. Yeah, I'll tell you what, as you come in, or as people come in, just have them add their name to the questions on the side, and I'll just keep an eye on there. Okay. So for the quiz, I mentioned earlier that it was going to be open note based on the prepare sections for this period, but the problem is the problem is there's only 1 week with an actual real prepare section with articles on it. So I'm wondering, I actually would almost prefer, I'd like to have you study the 2 articles. It's in week, let me find it here. Where's my syllabus? I think it was last week, but let me just verify. So in week 11. Yeah, so week 11, there are 2 articles that I wrote in there. One's how the little guy can get published, an autobiography, and how do I get people to interact and build lasting relationships. I'd like you to study those 2 articles if you can. And I'm not going to make. What we'll do is what I would like to do is we're not going to do open note this next week, but what we will do is I'm going to base the quiz for next week on all the questions from the previous quizzes. So you should be able to go in and look over your previous quizzes, and I'm going to pick random questions from the previous quizzes, and we'll have a total of 20 questions. And I'm going to include 2 questions on those 2 articles. So you'll want to say those 2 articles. If you get everything but those 2 articles, you'll just have missed 2, and I think that's, let's see, out of 20, that's 18. I mean, that's still, I think that's still an A. Might be wrong. My math is not good on the fly, but read through those. Those are pretty simple articles. I don't think it will take much to read. But as long as you go through and look over your past quiz questions, we can. I think you'll be fine in terms of doing it without the notes. So next week there are no notes. I know I originally said open notes, but I don't have anything to base open notes on right now. That's my problem. So we're going to base it off of the quizzes you've already taken. So if you can, go through, try and understand those, and you should have the correct answers on each one of those. So try to just understand what those are. But again, it's only 20 questions. So I've got from Gabe, same type of quiz as last time. So it's 20 questions, same type. It's just it's going to be closed note on this one. I just don't have any way to do open note on this, or I do open notes again. So we're gonna I will do it based on the previous questions. Lindsay says gas. Sorry, Lindsay. We'll finish with a sprint. Jared Jones is here. Let me mark you here. Sorry, I'm going back and forth. Here. So where's Jared? Okay. Jared the Jones has arrived. Armando's here. Gotcha. All right, and Michael. Okay, so we got that. So any questions on the quiz? I'm sorry to not have open notes again. But I think that's kind of fair. I mean, you guys have all taken these quizzes, and we've gone over them. What I do think we should do is let's go over the last quiz you took, make sure that you understand the answers on that one, because we didn't do that. And if you have any other questions, we can go over, or if you have other questions about past quizzes, you can ask in the Facebook group, and we'll go over that during the week if you need. So, I think it'll be. I think you can do it. I think you'll do well. So is Lillian there?
I'm here.
Oh, okay, great. Making sure I got everyone. And Casey Brow?
She's there. She said, I'm watching. That's what the comment.
Did she say she's watching?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and let's see. Josh Smith, is he there?
No.
Is that no? Okay, Tyler Staley.
No.
And what about Tyler Wells?
No.
Okay. If any of those guys come in, let me know, or have them sign in here. Okay, so Lindsay says, just to double clarify, it's no notes, and week 12 is the week with the articles. So yes, it's no notes, and I said week 12, right? Let me just verify.
Week 11.
Week 11? Okay. I'm looking right now. Yeah, week 11. It's the one with the stayingalive.com articles. How the little guy can get published, an autobiography, and how do I get people to interact and build lasting relationships. Just FYI, if you view those on a smaller device, they don't look very good. You might want to pull it up on a bigger screen. Just a tip. If you have trouble seeing it, let me know. Casey Bruff. I'm sorry, Casey. I'll make sure I say that right. Okay, so I got Lindsay, and I got Casey. Awesome. Okay. Okay, so if there are no questions on the quiz, so today was intended to be mostly a project day, so you guys can work on your presentations. We were going to go over a brand advocate or brand of your choice. what I'm going to suggest on those, I just like you to just kind of move that to ponder. I want you guys to kind of be thinking about what brand advocates are and what brand influencers are and how they differ from each other, and just kind of come up with your own thoughts on that. I'm not gonna make that an assignment, but I want you to kind of ponder it and be thinking and understanding the differences between those and who they would be. I'm also working on a potential guest to come. We were supposed to have a guest today, and because I wasn't here, I didn't want to have a guest come while I wasn't here. So I'm still working on someone for either next week or the following week that might, I think it'll be worth your time. I'll let you know as soon as I got something officially scheduled. I'll post it in the Facebook group so you guys can be ready. But I'll let you know on that. I'm trying to get someone really cool to come in. Originally I was talking to Stuart Edge, and some of you already had him in one of your classes, and I don't want to overwhelm him. So I'm working on someone potentially of that caliber. So we'll see. No guarantees. I've got a few options here, and I'm working on a few here. We'll see what we're end up coming up with. But if they come, we'll probably have you ask them a few questions about what it's been like to be a influencer and how they became an influencer, or any other question you have related to brand influence or brand advocacy, how they work with brands and stuff like that. So I'll let you guys know on that. Okay. So just move to thinking about who those types of people are to your pondering. Okay, so let's go over presentation criteria, as Casey Bruff said. She wants to go over presentation criteria and grading. That's actually a good idea. So if this is confusing to anyone, let me know. Here's what I'm thinking, and I wrote it down in the Facebook group, and it's also on the description for the presentation itself for next week. So if you look at that, you can see it. So I said, as promised, here's the criteria for your presentations. This is in the Facebook group. Be sure to discuss when you meet with your groups on Wednesday. I also want to discuss if you want to present next week or wait until the final week of class. So we already talked about that. We can talk about that. So officially, the final week of class is when your presentations are due. So I'll make sure I move that in the syllabus so that it reflects. So we can talk about that in class on Wednesday, but feel free to leave your opinions in the comments. Here's the criteria and grading system. Let me know if you have any questions. So presentation. So the criteria for the presentation, with exception of participation, meaning you all participated in it and put a good effort to participate in your groups in preparing the presentation. Each element should grade based on how well the presentation, each element below should grade on how well the presentation shows they met the criteria, not your opinion of whether they actually met the criteria or not. So this is about the presentation, with the exception of participation. The participation should include not just preparing the presentation, but also how they participated in the group during your projects. So not your opinion whether they actually met the criteria or not. It's up to them to convince you of that. So the goal of the presentation is to convince the other group that you meet these criteria. So number one, that you're going to want to convince the other group and myself viewing you is that you had a diligent effort, execution, and results. So that the goal is to show the other group how well did your group execute your project in projects in this case. So you've got, and I broke it down below. Make sure your presentation convinces the class of this. And that'll be 33% of the grade. It should demonstrate that you followed what we learned in class. So in the presentation, show how your projects follow the steps we learned in class, and that's going to be 33% of your grade. And then participation. So in this case, for the group, was it evident by their presentation? So if you're grading the other group, you're going to be looking at, was it evident by their presentation that the group as a whole participated? For individuals, you're going to be looking at, did each individual that you're grading in your group participate in each project? So there are going to be 3 elements of each. So I broke it down into 3 projects that you're going to be presenting on. You've got the light growth campaign, a conversion growth campaign, and then passion page growth. Within those 3 projects, that's what you're going to be looking at. That you're going to be breaking each of these down by 33%, basically, 1/3. So for the and I'll give you guys a sheet to fill out next week for each member of your own group as well as the other group, and then I'll fill out one as well for each group. So you've got the light growth campaign will be 200 points. You have a total of 550 points for this project. 200 of those points will be towards the light growth campaign. Again, this is on the presentation of that. Teacher review will be 60. Other group review will be 60, and then your peer review will be 80 of that. So your goal, you really want to be convincing your peers here. Conversion growth campaign for another 200. Teacher review will be 60 of that. Other group review will be 60, and peer review will be 80 of that. And then your passion page growth is 150. Not as much as the others. Teacher review will be 50, other group review will be 50, and peer review will be 50. And then I'm giving 10 points bonus for each of the projects that your group, that each group won. If you want, you get 10 points for each project. So the idea here is we're going to break these down into 3 by effort, execution, results is 1, whether they followed what they learned in class, and whether they participated. And for each element of, so the teacher for the light growth campaign myself, I would present on, I would look over the presentation. I would look at those 3 criteria and decide how well was their effort, execution, and results. Okay, well, 60 divided by 1/3, that's 20. So how much out of 20 do I want to give the group? And same for participation, same for follow what we learned in class. I break that down. And I'll give you guys a score sheet similar to that. If the other group is grading you, I'm gonna let the groups discuss together. So it'll be one group grading the other group. And I'm gonna encourage you guys, don't be too hard on each other. I'm not gonna be too hard on you. I'm gonna encourage you guys not to be too hard on each other. But if you truly feel that there wasn't effort put into this, or they don't meet one of the criteria, I'm gonna ask that you do be honest. And it shouldn't be an automatic grade, but as long as they've done their best at each of these, they should get as much credit as they deserve on these. So, but please be honest. What else? Let me see if there are any questions here.
Can I ask a quick question?
Oh, Lindsay said I'm cutting in a little in and out sound. So I hear there's a question.
Yeah, sorry. So for the Operation Underground Railroad conversion project, we were hoping to go into Twitter and YouTube a little bit. Is that all right with you? Or do you want us to stick with the Facebook page?
Yeah, you really should stick to Facebook pages on that.
That's what I thought.
Originally, we were going to finish the conversion projects this week. Did you guys want to push those until next week?
We need more time, if that would be okay.
That's fine. If you guys are, is the other group okay with that?
Yes.
Okay.
We're almost worried about the conversion pixel that's on the page for donation. Well, we are worried about it. We've had quite a few traffic to the landing page, but absolutely no conversions. So I don't know. If you could maybe check on your end and see if something's amiss. But if we'll re-attack the Facebook page then with some other tactics. Yeah, let's go over that. If we run out of time today, maybe I can meet with your group and we can go over that in my when I've got a better connection. That would be fine. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah. Well, my concern with the only problem I have with using Twitter is I've got to convince them to put a Twitter conversion pixel in place.
Right.
And that's going to take some time. The Twitter works just the same as Facebook, though. It's the same interface, so you guys can go in and explore if you want. But getting them to install the conversion pixel at this point, I think, is going to be way too difficult. That's my only worry. Where we've already gone on Facebook, let's go ahead and use Facebook is our practice, and see where it goes. And I'm happy to meet with both groups. I think what we ought to do is maybe tomorrow, or maybe not tomorrow, but maybe Friday, or I can even meet on Saturday, or Monday or Tuesday of next week. I'm happy to meet with any of your groups, and we can go over and look over your campaigns and see if I have any suggestions on ways you can improve that.
That would be really helpful. Thank you.
Oh, no problem at all. So reach out to me on that, and we'll make that happen. I could do it today. I'm worried about the connection, though, because Lindsay's saying that I'm cutting in and out. I don't want to. Yeah. Last thing I want is to be cut out while I'm doing that.
We'll reach out on the page and we'll talk to you about that.
Okay. That sounds good. And if you want me to go over Twitter with you guys and show you some more Twitter, we can do that too. Maybe I get with each of your groups individually, and we can do that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So when we get with your groups, I'd be happy to go over Twitter, or we can do other stuff. But I don't think we can actually run a Twitter conversion campaign because of that. That's my only worry, because they have to install that pixel.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Okay, so any questions on the presentation and the criteria for the presentation? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you have any questions along the way, please let me know. Otherwise, forever hold your peace. And we will make that presentation due a week from next week, so in 2 weeks. And on the conversion ad campaign, I'm good now, Lindsay says, awesome. So on the conversion ad campaign, since you guys wanted to wait till next week, let's go over that next week, and we can see how your campaigns are doing, and I'll meet with your groups individually if you have problems, or I'm also, even if you don't have problems, I'm happy to go over your campaigns, provide some suggestions and stuff like that. So reach out to me on that. We'll get that set up. We can work on that. So Casey says presentations are 2 weeks from today. Yes, we decided we're moving those to 2 weeks from today because the two groups wanted a little more time. So 2 weeks from today, presentations will be due. But there is a quiz next week. And we'll use quiz questions from all the previous weeks. For those that weren't in the class, I wanted to just bring up real quick, since I think we got just about everyone. We might be missing a couple, but on April 2nd, that's a week from tomorrow, we're going to be utilizing Sister Putnam's class. So if you're already in her class at 7 p.m. on Thursday on April 2nd, your class is going to join us. We are going to be airing a screening of the Abolitionists documentary for anyone who would like to come see it. It's going to be in the multi-purpose room on the main floor. It's not in theaters right now, so it's a pretty unique opportunity. I'll create a Facebook event for you guys, but I'm going to ask that you not share it with outside of our 2 classes. Right now we're inviting just the 2 classes because there's limited space, and they're giving us special permission where the 2 classes are helping out OUR in this. So you are all invited to come see that April 2nd, a week from tomorrow at 7 p.m. during Sister Putnam's class. Your class is going to be doing that during class, so and she's okay with that. So any questions on that? Well, that'd be pretty awesome. And by the way, that's optional. It's pretty tough material, so if you don't feel if you feel like it's going to be a little too tough for you, no offense if you don't. But it is worth it. I think it's an amazing film. It's hard to come out without tears in your eyes. So it will change you. Lastly, okay, so what was I going to do next? I wanted to go over the quiz for the last quiz you guys took. Lindsay says, "Oh my goodness, I just realized there are only like 2 weeks left of school, or 3. Yeah, there are only 2 more weeks. Next week and the following week." So let's go over the quiz real quick. I'm going to, let me pull it up here and then I'll share my screen. So quiz 3. And oops. I'm getting it loaded and I'll share it with you. And if for some reason your quizzes don't show the correct answers right now, let me know, because you should be able to go through and see all the correct answers on the quizzes you've taken. So I'll share my screen. This. And are you seeing the quiz right here?
Yes, no, we are.
Okay. So this is quiz 3. Let's just go through real quick the questions. How did Andrew White and Audi use brand advocates to engage their audience? The answer was B. They listened to their audience and created a campaign from the audience hashtag. So on that one, do you remember the story on that one?
It's like I want an R8 or something like that.
Yep. So it actually started from a single customer used the hashtag I want an R8, and they ended up creating a campaign out of that hashtag that their customers started using, and for people to win an R8. They actually gave an R8, I think, to the one customer to at least to try out. I can't remember if they gave it to her or not. How can Facebook groups provide value for customers? I mean, there are things. I mean, yeah, it can make you money. It potentially can increase your followers. It does not send you all candy, but the best answer on this, and again, it was choose the best answer. It can reward them and make them feel special. That's the goal, and we're looking at building brand advocates here. And the goal of Facebook groups is to is to build brand advocates, and anyway, so and in turn that will drive everything else. So real quick, Casey asked, can we bring spouses? Same with Lindsay. Let me think about that. I'll let you know in the Facebook. I need to think if we've got enough room. So what I'll do, I think we might be able to allow spouses to come to that. I think it seats about 100, 150 or so in that multi-purpose room. We might be able to fit that in. So let me. I don't see why not. Let's plan on that. I'll double count how many we got, but for now let's plan on that. Okay, so how did Cadbury engage their brand advocates? So this is from the notes. They utilized Google Plus Hangouts on air to bring a face to the brand. Do you remember how that worked? Yep. So that was right in the use case, and they had several different examples of ways that they brought Cadbury into the light with these live streams, and that's what they used for that. Which of these is not a reason you should use employees as your brand advocates? So we've got it's cost effective to use what you've got, so that's true. The best advocates for your business are the ones who understand it. That's true. People trust information from their networks. That's true. They will have the largest audience. Well, your employees usually won't have the largest audience. I mean, as a goal, as an organization, you might want to help your employees get larger audiences, but that's not why you engage your employees. So D is the answer on that one. What is a passion page? A really passionate page where engagement is very high. A page on Facebook or other social media channels that focus on individual passions of the page's audience. B is the answer. It focuses on the passions of that page's audience. It's the individual passions that you break it out into. Your administrators can be passionate, but that's not a passion page. And pages about passion fruit are not passion pages. They could be, maybe, but not in this case. Not in what we're describing. So which of these people is not currently a brand advocate for LDS Business College? So we're looking at brand advocates, not influencers. And it says currently. Students at LDSBC, well, those would be brand advocates. Spencer Taggart is a brand advocate. Barrett Christensen is a brand advocate. Lindsay Sterling is not currently a brand advocate. So that would be it would be D. What is earned media? This was from one of the articles. Your Facebook page is not earned media. Media from partners you paid is not. Your partners are not earned media. Media shared by your fans and followers is earned media. It's media that you have earned from your existing audience. So, what is employed media? The answer for that is D, encouraging the people your company employs to share your wonderful content with their own universes. So that's directly from the article that talks about the new definition of employed media engaging your employees. What is the most popular pledge amount for Kickstarter? And this was directly from one of the articles that said $25 is the most popular pledge amount. There was an average, I believe, but this is the most popular, and that was quoted in the article. What was the one suggestion Jesse gave to students going to universities? That's one thing I'll say over and over again. Learn a program. Yep. What would you use Google image search for in a Kickstarter campaign? In the case of Tim Ferriss's example, he used it to find relevant blogs posting images similar to your Kickstarter campaign. So let's see. And then what's the best way to start your first Google Plus Hangout on air? This is from one of the articles. Try it with your friends, with your colleagues, with a business meeting. So, I mean, you don't need to use expensive cameras or equipment, or share it on Facebook, or start with massive audience to get experience. Try it internally. Get people internally using it. That's the best way to get started. Or a classroom, like we're doing here. Which of these page names would be an example of a passion page? None of those have really passionate names, except I love my family, so it's D. True or false? Utilizing employees as brand advocates improves the transparency of your business and helps your brand. That is true. Which of these is more likely to have passion for a product your brand gives them? A brand advocate. You remember the difference between brand advocates and brand influencers? A brand influencer will have an audience and may be able to promote your brand, but they're not going to be passionate about your brand. The brand advocate is going to have passion for your brand. And an influencer can be a brand advocate, but not always. So in this case, it's A, brand advocate. What are brand influencers more motivated to do compared to brand advocates? So again, remember the difference between brand influencers and brand advocates. And the answer to this is grow their audience. Brand influencers are all about their audience usually. That's why you usually want a brand advocate over a brand influencer. What are the 4 things to look for when building your media list for Kickstarter? The answer for that was relevance, readership, relationships, and reach. And that was directly from one of the articles. Which of these does Kickstarter recommend to run a successful crowdfunding campaign? Reach out to people you know before launch. Which 3 of these is a type of content marketing that all content marketers use? And those are, there was paid media, earned media, and owned media, not TV media. True or false? A good way to utilize a Facebook group is to communicate with brand ambassadors, and that is true. So what I'm going to do for next week's quiz, let me stop sharing here. So what I'm going to do for next week's quiz is I'm not going to do the really specific things that you have to memorize things for. I'm going to pick the questions that are a little more generic that prove you learned what was there, but they're going to be directly from past questions. So if it's something you have to memorize a list of things from an article, I'm not going to include those. So my goal is I want to show you learned, not memorized. So that's my. So I'm going to pick those types of questions and kind of show you understand it. So I think those will be easier questions to answer in the long run, anyway. Any questions?
Nope.
All right. Okay. Well, I think that's about all I've got. Unless you guys have some more questions, I'm going to encourage you, if you need to get back together with your groups to work on your presentations more, go ahead and work on that. I will be back in the class at 7 p.m. next week with the quiz already, and we'll move on. I'm hoping next week we might have an influencer come and talk to us, and we'll see. I'm working on that. If not, we'll do it the final week. But I'll let you know in the group kind of what my plans are for next week as soon as I've got that formalized. Kind of shuffling things around here these last few weeks. But let me know if you have any questions. Awesome. So I'll be following the Facebook group if any of you have any more questions, and otherwise I'm going to go and sign out. Thanks, guys.
Brother, stay real quick.
Got it. Yeah?
So next week I won't be here. Can I still take the test? I'll be in St. George. Can I still take it? Okay.
Yeah, I'll do it just like the past ones, as long as you promise not to look at your notes.
Of course.
I'll take you on. I'll take you on your honor. Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right. Take care.
Honor. Best yet. Okay. Thanks, Arthur.
So same thing. I won't be here. Sorry, I won't be here next Wednesday, but I can't take the test during that time.
Could I take it earlier?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and email me or message me, and let's figure that out.
Okay, thanks.
No problem. Thanks, Tammy. All right, thanks, Artur.
Thank you, bro. Stay. You too.
All right, I'll see you later.
See ya.
All right.